Welcome to Pegwarmers. I'm Kevin, and I'm here to talk about toys. Today, we're taking a look at Hasbro's auction for a whole bunch of Power Ranger props throughout the production history of Power Rangers. So, if you don't know, Hasbro owns Power Rangers. They bought the brand that was owned by Saban, then sold to Disney, bought back by Saban, and then sold to Hasbro. Hasbro made the Lightning Collection, which was a really cool toy line for collectors that was going to cover the whole span of Power Rangers history. They produced a couple seasons of the show, just sort of building off of what Saban had been doing, and then they decided to do their own thing for the most recent season, which then turned out to be the end of Power Rangers or possible end of Power Rangers. Power Rangers was bought by Hasbro with a vision and a plan in mind. That person that was going to kind of do all of that passed away. And so the plan just sort of fell apart. And I don't think Hasbro really knows what to do now. There have been lots of talks about continuing the show or doing a cartoon or doing the live action movies. But the synergy seems to have, faded away. The Lightning Collection ended. The TV show ended, and now Hasbro is auctioning off a ton of props. And I want to look through this. I did a video like this before with props from the Goldbergs, a sitcom that's set in the 80s that used a lot of pop culture and toy references. And this stuff is the Power Ranger costumes and props we've seen on screen throughout the history of the show. And I just thought that it would be fun to take a look at. Power Rangers is not my all-time favorite franchise, but it is a franchise that I like a lot. Mighty Morphin was my introduction, and then most of the other seasons I've only ever watched once. Some of them I think are fantastic, like RPM and SPD, and some of them are not so great. I liked a lot of the modern Saban stuff. The way they ended the series was fun for some of my age that had kids, where they did Once and Always, a special that brought back a bunch of the original Mighty Morphin Rangers, and then there were some connections from that to the final season that involved Lord Zed and things like that. I had a lot of fun experiencing that last season with my stepsons, but it's a little disappointing that Power Rangers seems to be dormant. All right, so we're at Heritage Auctions website here, America's Auction House. Here we are at Heritage Auctions website, America's Auction House. Hasbro contracted with them to sell what seems like a warehouse full of Power Ranger merchandise. We've got a couple assortments of Power Rangers products, toys, goods, things like that. Most of the auction's opening bids were $500. And so if it says opening bid $500, no one's bid on it yet. If it says current bid $500, it's only been bid on its minimum amount. So that first lot with 100 plus items is at $825. The other two items have no bids or just the one bid. And as we move through, it's just something to keep in mind. We've got the Power Ranger Ninja Steel hoverboard accessory, $500. The Ninja Steel Hero Ninja Master Blade, $525. This is some of the stuff where I think it gets really interesting, though. Something a little bit older. Action Megazord helmets. Let's check this out. $875. You've got the helmet. This is from the Turbo Megazord, I believe. Different iterations. There's the shield. Showing these from different angles and some with some like battle damage on them. Pretty impressive stuff. Here's a screen capture from the show. These are pretty unique items. Depends whether it's your favorite season or not, but those could be really cool. We've got some Ninja Steel helmets and weapons. The Ninja Nexus Prism. This Ninja Star looking item is where the Power Rangers the different characters get their original Ninja Stars that allow them to Ninja Spin and morph. But that prop was very important to that season. $625 currently. Power Rangers in Space cast jacket, $1,150. Looks like that has a lot of autographs on it there. That's a pretty cool piece, for sure. We get into some of the monster suits, which seem pretty incredible. Redbot, $625. Galvanax. I can't believe Galvanax is only $500. He's the main bad guy from Ninja Steel, while his general, Ripcon is $1,550, so a lot more desire on Ripcon than Galvanax, interestingly enough. We've got a Power Ranger suit from 93 to 95, $1,550 for a Pink Ranger suit with maybe no belts. Oh, this is a group. Ah, so you're getting a spandex suit in each color. All right, well, that's pretty cool. No helmets, no belts, no gloves, anything like that. More Ninja Steel props with the Kudabots, and the Blue Ranger uniform, Pink Ranger uniform. Then we get into Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. This is a Power Axe, claimed to be from 93 to 95, so that would have been on the original Mighty Morphin series, $625. Red Ranger from Ninja Steel, $525. The Gold Ranger from Ninja Steel's guitar weapon, $625. Here we get into some helmets. Oh, 93 to 95. This is a early helmet they're claiming, $1,001. White Ranger helmet, $1,600. Power Rangers Zeo Red Ranger helmet, $825. So some of these are going for serious money here. I want to come into the listing and see if they show anything else here. Just the different angles and a shot from the show. It's a really nice looking helmet. There's a lot of cool details in these helmets that you just don't really even notice on TV a lot. The little piping and things like that look cool. Boom's Orange Ranger helmet. If you are not a full completist Power Ranger fan, one of the better seasons, Power Rangers SPD, had a guy who worked at the Power Ranger base who daydreamed of being a Power Ranger, and he imagined being an Orange Ranger. This is a 1-episode prop, but from a pretty popular character. The actor who played Boom actually went on to be Mick in Ninja Steel, a mentor character. They brought him back to play someone else, and his helmet is going for $2,100 currently. One of the higher end items on here, but that's pretty neat, and it is definitely a unique thing where there probably is only one of it. It's not like they would need a bunch of stunt versions and things like that. The core Rangers, they may have made a lot of different helmets for them, but Boom probably didn't have a whole bunch of suits. We've got another White Ranger helmet, $1,850. Ooh, a Dragon Dagger, 93 to 95, $3,100. That is pretty awesome. The Dragon Dagger obviously being one of the more iconic props from Power Rangers, being Tommy's weapon. Is there a zoom option here? It's very bland on the back. Here we go. I want to zoom in and see. Ooh, so this looks like it might be a rubberized version, maybe a stunt version of the Dragon Dagger, and it's definitely got some cracking going on. This happens with props, right, over the ages. I don't know if any of you guys collect props. Props are pretty tricky because they do deteriorate over a while. And this looks like I said, to be a rubberized version of it, not the hero version that you would see when he's like using it, but one to be holstered or held in a fight scene where if the character falls on it, they wouldn't get hurt. We've got some more helmets here with Turbo and Lost Galaxy. The Lost Galaxy Blue Ranger helmet, $1,550. Some more Ninja Steel costumes. Oh, and we've got another Power Axe, $1,000. If you could have a prop from any show, what show would it be? What would the prop be? Power Ranger Power Daggers, $825. Looks like there's another Hero Power Dagger going for $525. So again, I don't know if the quality's different. The one set doesn't mention Hero. Hero is always the term for like the best looking version of it, the authentic close-up version versus perhaps stunt versions or other, look-like props that you won't see as close-up. This one I thought was interesting. This villain on Power Rangers, he was like a TV personality from Ninja Steel, and his face often changed on the show, but it didn't seem like an animatronic. They used sort of like a crossfade to change his facial expressions. And when you look at this listing here, he has multiple facial expressions. So there were like multiple masks used for this character. And he's got like a surprised face. So I thought that was kind of interesting to get to see how they pulled that off in production. And it's not surprising that it was just totally separate masks that they would occasionally switch out. He didn't do it a lot, and I feel like towards the end of that season, he did it less. But just kind of cool to see that they went to all the trouble of making all these different facial expressions for the character. We've got some more weapons here. We've got the Blue Ranger's Quasar Saber from Power Rangers Lost Galaxy, $4,100. That's a pretty big item there, price tag wise. We've got another Blue Ranger helmet, $925, and a Power Rangers Zeo Gold Ranger helmet, $1,450. That's a hero helmet. And the boots, apparently, going for a lot of money there. We've got another Green Ranger. This one is a hero dagger, going for $1,050. Let's check this one out and see how different this one looks. See, now when we zoom in, much cleaner. No cracking on this one because this one is probably made out of a totally different material. That is pretty cool. The back is still pretty plain, so that both props wasn't like they dropped a lot of detail on that. Oh, is this from the Once and Always series? I got a picture of Robo Rita there. Oh yeah, it does say Once and Always 2023. Okay, so that's a much more modern prop, but it is still the hero dragon dagger. Pretty cool. I kind of like Once and Always. I know it's not the vintage toy or the vintage TV series, but it's one of the better productions in a lot of ways, other than the Zord fight cheaped out with the CGI stuff. But I really enjoyed them going back and bringing back all those actors, and it's better than like the Legacy War, the Legendary Battles, in Power Rangers Megaforce. They did this giant like Power Ranger team up thing, but they only brought back a couple Rangers, and they were barely in it. It was just sort of like a helmet off cameo for these guys. Whereas Once and Always was these Rangers returning to their characters. We learned things about those characters post Power Rangers or post, what we had seen on the show. And I thought that was really cool and a really nice love letter to the brand. Green Ranger Dino Thunder Fighting Spirits hero costume, $1,250. So in Dino Thunder, Tommy, the Green Ranger, comes back as the Black Ranger, and there was an episode where he sort of fought his former forms, the White Ranger and the Green Ranger, in like another dimension, another plane of existence kind of thing. And the Fighting Spirit version of the suit had a different helmet paint job, and so that it's a unique thing. This doesn't seem to have the Dragon Shield with it. I don't know what happened to that, but Tommy being one of the most popular Rangers, this is a pretty prized item there. There's no belt, there's no Dragon Shield for it, but it is the helmet there and the suit, it looks like. There's a lot of Power Rangers SPD SWAT mode helmets going for $925. Let's check this out. Is it all 5 Rangers from the series? Yeah. So SWAT mode was sort of like their powered up mode. They got extra armor and they got like the headsets and stuff showed up on their helmets. And a set of 5 helmets is pretty interesting. Granted, these aren't like the standard helmet, which maybe is slightly less desirable, but that's pretty impressive to get the full set of helmets. All right, the next thing I see that's really cool is the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Ninjor Battle Mode Hero Helmet, $2,100. So Ninjor was a character who created the Power Morphers, the Power Coins, and he was like this big, goofy blue guy, big blue ninja guy who talked like Dudley Do-Right, Power Rangers, I will help you. And he could transform. His head could flip like the old head flipper toys. He would go from like a ninja to a samurai. And this is the helmet from the samurai version of him. He could grow big like the Zords. Prince Gear Animatronic, $575. I think this is absolutely amazing. What a weird prop. Power Rangers Zeo saw the entrance of a new set of villains. They were the Machine Empire, and everybody was like gears and mechanical. And at one point, they had a baby, and this is the puppet. You can see the wires coming out of it to animate it. This is such a weird prop, but I kind of love it. There he is in his cradle. He looks so shiny on screen. Did he lose his luster? Maybe it's just the lighting. Like, you can get a Lord Zed staff, $2,300. It's a hero staff from 93 to 95. We've got some Blade Blasters, Hero Blasters from Once and Always. So they made Blade Blasters in all three forms. The gun mode, the holstered mode, and the knife mode. Notice that they say Zoo Ranger on them, which is the Sentai form of Mighty Morphin. It's pretty cool. Time Force. Wes, the Red Ranger from Time Force, is very popular. Or is this... Oh, this is 6 items. $1,550. Is this Wes, or is this the special Red Ranger? This is the special Red Ranger. Because Wes looks like this, I think. Just the triangle. I could be wrong. All right, so this is all 6 Rangers from Time Force's helmet. Yep. Wes has just the triangle. That's pretty cool. Again, a whole team's worth of helmets. All right, we've got more Blade Blasters here. Hero Blade Blasters. Jungle Fury. Flit. Definitely not one of my favorite Power Ranger characters. This was a little bug with a microphone. He would kind of go around and spy. He was really annoying. I've seen the season once, so to do an impression of him, but he has like an annoying, obnoxious bug voice that you would expect. A weird part of the show, but again, a funny, weird, oddball prop. $1,100. Again, maybe probably pretty rare. They probably didn't make multiples of him for the show. Unlike the helmets and stuff that there would have been dozens of. Does he have 2 sets of wings? He has out and in wings, or they're articulated. Unclear. Without reading the full write-up, but that's pretty funny. Some morphers. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers 4 action morphers, assorted hero. $4,400. So these are real morphers. You know, they open up. This one, the sticker's peeled off. So those ones are in good shape. This one, not so much. You get a series of power coins there. It's not a complete set. There's 2 mastodons, 3 pterodactyls, and a saber-toothed tiger, and they're in pretty rough shape. Those were definitely used a fair amount in production. Oh, here's some more power coins. More of the same, mostly. Shot from the production where they used them. And there's a crane Zord. So, kind of some interesting stuff. Going for a pretty hefty sum there. We've got a White Ranger costume from Fighting Spirit, $2,350. The suit. So not the original from the regular main series of Mighty Morphin. So there might be some differences in it, but it's still a really nice looking White Ranger suit. There it is on screen. Pretty cool. So obviously, if you're going to order any of these things, you need to read the descriptions really well, look at the pictures really well, because some of the stuff is damaged and worn from lots of production. Red Ranger's Galaxy Glider, $2,100. That's pretty cool. So the Alien Rangers of Aquatar, who I hated as a kid. I could not stand this whole Alien Ranger thing. And then after learning how Power Rangers works, like where the show came from, and actually watching Kaku Ranger, which is the Sentai these guys came from, I like them a lot more. I get that Saban was kind of up against a wall trying to resist changing the uniforms and things like that. I like the Alien Rangers a lot more now. Their unmorphed forms, though, were just so bizarre. The Aquatar people. We've got some more weapons. We've got some gloves. Oh, these are from the movie. I was going to say they have little extra piping on them there. Yeah, there's a lot of items here that are opening bid $500. People either don't feel it's worth that or just aren't interested in that season of the show. As of the recording of this, there's 15 days left in the auction, but it'll be less than that by the time this episode shows up on YouTube. Here's some other cool stuff. The filming miniatures from Power Rangers in Space. So we've got a little tiny spaceship here. $1,600 for the next minimum. And, this would have been filmed and made to appear much larger. There's an example of it on screen. Jax, the Beast Bot. Here's one. My stepson, my oldest stepson, was really into the Yellow Ranger from Beast Morphers. This looks really cool. This is kind of like the, people have a full scale R2D2. Jax is kind of that kind of thing. Pretty neat. $1,050. I actually want to pop in here and just see what. Oh, it's pretty much just the robot, it looks like. Nothing really else in there with him. You can see him on the show there. Does he have all of this stuff going on, or is all of that added digitally? Oh, it's there. It just isn't lit up. Yeah, okay. So you might be able to rig him up to be on display lit up, which would be cool. So one of the bits of drama I heard about this whole sale was that there were some people, I don't know if it's the actors or just fans, that were upset about the possibility of fans bidding against the actors who might want to own their own suits and things like that. I think that's a really tough situation to be in. Hasbro didn't even own the show, and a lot of these people were the actors, but Saban didn't gift a lot of stuff away from the show. They didn't give the actors the opportunity to buy their uniforms at the end of their seasons or anything like that. So now it's up on the free market. If you really want to make sure your favorite actor gets their stuff, you could just buy it and give it to them. Otherwise, I don't think you not bidding to help them out is really going to help them out in the long run, because probably there's somebody who just doesn't care whether the actor gets it or not. They just want it in their collection. And I'm sure it depends on which Ranger it is, how much the items are going to go for. Some of these items there are multiples of on the internet. So if an entire team of Rangers wanted to try and work together, actors pool their money to buy, a set of helmets, that might be the way to go. I don't know for sure. Putty costumes, that's pretty cool. These guys were the original bad guys on Power Rangers. This was made for Once and Always, so it's a modern suit. Ooh, the Thunder Megazord helmet. This is pretty neat that somebody saved this, and it didn't go back to Japan or whatever. I don't know if this head is an additional helmet to the one that went with the original suit. $2,700. I think well worth it. This is a more iconic piece, being the helmet to the Megazord. It's not in the best of shape anymore, as far as there's a lot of scuffing and stuff on it, but it is really cool. More putty costumes from Once and Always. There's some putty masks from the original seasons. They probably have seen better days. Elgar here from Power Rangers in Space, one of the bad guy generals or sort of goofy guys from the bad guys crew. This face is looking rough. $1,050 currently. You can see his nose is rotting off. There are some cables attached to it. They would have used those to control the facial expressions. There he is, looking the way he should, nice and fresh and young, as opposed to this version. Eef. He's falling apart. We've got another Power Rangers, villain general mask here. The Wild Force bad guy. So this would have been one of the last season shot here in America before production went over to New Zealand. Set of Beast Morpher weapons there. Opening bid $500. Some putty masks. Here is my favorite. If I could buy one thing from this auction, if I was going to blow some money, I mean, obviously, an iconic Mighty Morphin Power Ranger helmet would probably be the coolest thing to own. But this is the head to Serpentera, a miniature Zord. I think this is so cool. Serpentera was one of my favorite things in Power Rangers because it was the one thing that I actually thought was scary. A lot of people said Zed was scary, and he kind of was in appearance, but he quickly became so goofy. And to that same extent, Serpentera became goofy because its batteries were always dying. But man, the original footage of Serpentera looked really good, and I think that this is awesome. So it's the head to a miniature. They did make a toy of Serpentera, which I have. But Serpentera was built up to be a huge threat, this bad guy Zord. He was destroyed in Forever Red, but that was a CGI recreation of Serpentera, who I didn't think was as terrifying as the originals. And this is something I would say, even with Once and Always, anytime they replace the Zords with CGI, they somehow become less realistic. The shiny metal, the way they move, it never has the same Gravity as the actual bulky suit moving around on set, or the really beautiful miniatures. I love the Mighty Morphin Zords. The rare occasions they do fight on their own before they form the Megazord, I think those props are beautiful. The Megazord suits are great in the fights, and something like Serpentera is super cool. We've got a Magic Wand from 93 to 95, Rita Wand. That is pretty awesome. Another Green Ranger suit. We've got a red Aquatar Ranger costume, $625. Pair of red Aquatar helmets, $675. I actually saw this piece, Saba's Hero Animatronic Saber prop. It is very large, $2,100. This is the hilt of Tommy's White Ranger sword, but built at a larger scale with a lot of detail. It was animatronic, so the eyes could blink and the mouth could move for the close-ups when Saba was, being like a sentient creature. It's pretty cool. That would definitely be probably one of the better pieces to grab, as far as being like an iconic thing. That's a White Ranger's accessory. Definitely a cool piece. Black Ranger costume, $875 from the early seasons of Mighty Morphin. That's pretty awesome. Kind of surprised these RPM helmets aren't doing anything. Are they missing something? Is this missing the face shield? These seem to have face shields. And maybe it does and it just looks odd. It's a little hard to tell. Again, you got to read the descriptions. I'm shocked that these aren't getting bid on. RPM is a pretty popular series. We've got Rick, the robotic dog here. What's he going for? $2,100. This is pretty neat. Definitely is somewhat posable. Here we've got a Finster head. Animatronic costume head. Finster made the monsters for Rita, but again, we're seeing the deterioration of the props. He's looking a little rough around the edges. Very cool, though. Yeah, you can see the foam here on this ear is really getting destroyed. You have to assume this is why some of the characters get phased out in things. Occasionally some characters would return, like Rita and Zed. And maybe this is the reason why, you don't see Finster in Once and Always. They don't want to remake all the suits, and the suits have just, disintegrated. This one. Okay. This might be the most valuable item here. $15,000 is the current bid. Power Rangers Transformable Astro Megaship. Is this a 100% original prop, or is this a screen-accurate painted toy that was used as a prop in the show? You have to wonder sometimes, right? Was this made for the American show? Was this made for the Japanese show? I'd have been so nervous trying to transform this thing that I would scratch the paint in some way. It's pretty impressive that it does transform and does all the stuff. Pretty cool. 1998. Power Rangers in Space, definitely a popular season. It was going to be the last season at one point. They kind of pulled out all the stops, and maybe that's what saved that season. But definitely was a jumping on point for a lot of Power Ranger fans. Ooh, Scorpina's costume, $2,100. I don't know if this came over from Japan or if a new suit was made for some stuff filmed here in America. It's just interesting because I would have thought that she was always just the Japanese actor. Thinking back on it, maybe there were some shots that they shot, and you wouldn't know. Because it just seems like an odd costume to make it over here in a lot of ways. Like this would have stayed with the Japanese stuff. I don't know. Interesting costume there. $2,100. Beast Morphers bad guy suit, $500. Dino Fury bad guy suit, $500. Here is the Robo Snizzard suit from Once and Always. $525. That one's pretty cool. Again, like I like Once and Always. Don't know how well any of these suits will hold up. You'd have to look into how to preserve them. Lothar's costume from Ninja Storm. That's pretty cool. Power Rangers Dino Thunder. This is the case the morphers are found in. $2,100. This is actually a pretty nice piece as far as props go because it's the case, but it's also got morphers inside. So that is a pretty cool piece to display. A Yellow Ranger suit from the original Mighty Morphin era. $3,600. Looks like it's complete. That's pretty cool. There's an original Blue Ranger costume, $2,100. Always popular Tommy's Black Ranger helmet from Dino Thunder, $1,750. Yeah, so you get the Black Ranger helmet, you get the upgraded red, yellow, blue, standard red, the white helmet there. That's a pretty cool set to get. Pretty popular season of the show. Tech devices. This is actually pretty funny. Some Dino Thunder props. These are Kira, was that her name? Right? CDs that she would have been selling or handing out at events. Photos. I mean, just some funny on-screen stuff. These are fake trading cards from an episode. Medals that they won. Interesting that so much of this stuff got saved. People's key rings. Phantom Ranger suit, $750. Almost surprised that's not going for more. Phantom Ranger is very popular. Ooh, Pink Ranger helmet from the movie, $4,100. That's pretty cool. Mighty Morphin era Kimberly costume, $5,250. Movie White Ranger, $1,000. Looks like it's missing something. The shoulder pad's missing to this. Yeah, it definitely has more to it in the movie than what's there. So that's not totally complete. Still pretty cool. White Rangers, always popular. Kind of surprised some of these bad guy suits from Dino Charge aren't going for more. I guess people just don't necessarily want the bad guy suits. Maybe don't know how to preserve them because that's currently at $500 Spellbinder. It's just impressive. Lost Galaxy. This is the Magna Defender's son's costume, $650. There's an Adam Black Ranger suit, $1,400. Oh, here's Lord Zed, Dino Fury. So this is the sort of modern remake of Lord Zed for the more recent seasons of Power Rangers. $1,250. Pretty good looking. That would be pretty nice to have on display. Doggy Kruger. This was the SPD Shadow Ranger mentor. Got his morpher there. It's pretty neat. You can definitely see that there's some wear and tear going on with that suit. There's Doggy Kruger's uniform when morphed. Shadow Ranger, $3,100. Original Red Ranger era costume, $1,850. Rancic's costume from Power Rangers, $500. That's pretty cool. It's got the scarred up arm there as part of the costume. Rancic was a good villain. Wow, there's a Mighty Morphin era Tommy suit, $7,500. This has the more Japanese era style dragon shield, not the puffy American version. So I don't know if this is the Japanese suit or not. Here we've got another White Ranger movie suit. This one does have the shoulder pieces. $3,600. Alpha 6 hero costume. That one has the head. $3,100. Pretty cool. Obviously, Alpha 5 was the original Alpha and probably the coolest Alpha. But most people wouldn't even realize that it wasn't the original Alpha, that it's a different Alpha, unless you're a diehard Power Ranger fan. But Alpha kind of there were multiple Alpha robots. I think this is the one that was a little bit more annoying. Talked like he had the Brooklyn accent a little bit there. Hey, yo, Power Rangers. Cosmic Fury Master Zed. This is the souped up version of Lord Zed. That's pretty impressive thing to have there. Got another Rancic body. Puzzler, only $500. Again, these cool suits. It's a whole monster. I just think those are neat. Xenowing, $550. Goldar Maximus, $550. There's Poisandra, $1,550. Poisandra's getting some love there. Fury is pretty cool, $500. There's a sledge suit from Power Rangers Dino Charge. Opening bid, $500. Nobody's after that one. It's the main bad guy from a season. It's so interesting. Oh, here we go. Cosmic Fury Red Ranger, $6,250. Cool suit. It's possibly the final Red Ranger ever in Power Rangers history. One of the few female Red Rangers. Not my favorite suit design. There's the once and always Robo Minotaur, $550. Again, not selling for that much. Pretty cool suit. Oh, and here we have Jared. This was one of the main bad guys in Power Rangers Jungle Fury. That's a pretty cool suit. $2,575. Lots of screen time. Important character for its season. We've got some heads from Next Mutation. $500. Seems to be the current bid on all of those, or opening bids on some of them. You can get Venus de Milo's head there. Current bid, $500. Nobody's bid on Raph yet. What a shame. We've also got some Kamen Rider suits here. Just overall, some pretty cool stuff. Beetleborg helmets. Apollo 12 Power Rangers action figures. These got in the auction. All right, so that seems to be it for the auction. I know I went through that quickly, but it's a very repetition, a lot of the same kind of stuff. Very cool stuff, you know, a big part of the kids television history and the, you know, Power Ranger brand history there. Lots of awesome stuff. I'm not bidding on anything. I don't really have the money for buying props, let alone trying to store something crazy like a full human-sized monster costume, but there's definitely some cool stuff there. I feel like the Serpentera head is my favorite. Besides getting like an original Mighty Morphin suit. Yeah, I don't know. So in the comments down below, let me know what your favorite items were. What do you think is the most interesting? Does anybody collect movie props? You know, how do you display them? How do you make sure they stay in good shape? Thanks so much for checking out this episode of Pegwarmers. Do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button. Subscribe if you haven't done so. Share this video with a toy collecting or Power Ranger fan. Thanks so much for being a part of the show. If you want to support the show further, consider joining us on Patreon. There's bonus videos there, and extra content, things like that. There's a Discord for people in the second tier. All that goes to help produce the show, keep things going. No matter what your level of involvement is, I really appreciate you guys watching the videos. Thanks for hanging on the peg with me.